Welcome back to the Explore Inspired Show. It's episode 5. I'm your host, Jonathan Ronzio, and I'm really excited about today's lesson. Actually, we're going to be talking about something that I really love, and that is climbing mountains.
Beautiful day for a little stroll. Just a little hike in the woods.
And you'll find that on today's show and many shows going forward, I do use that metaphor of climbing, of mountaineering, as a way to share lessons about life, about business, about just general motivational principles. And I'm no different from many speakers out there who you've seen at a conference sharing a slide that has a climber on it, or a PowerPoint you've seen at work that has a rock climber on it. It's a very natural thing for us to use climbing and rock climbing or mountaineering or whatever, scaling, reaching for that summit, that peak of success as a motivational metaphor to inspire people to work harder, to inspire yourself to strive for more. But as I was getting coffee with my fellow motivator and good friend Jason Goldberg, and he was pointing out that unlike many speakers or PowerPoints out there, these metaphors, I'm actually living them. I'm in the mountains doing that, and then carrying that message onto the stage, which fewer people are doing. And I hope that provides a level of credibility that resonates. But yeah, today we're talking about the metaphor of mountaineering and how that's applicable to basically whatever level you're trying to achieve in your business, your life, your relationship, or maybe in the mountains. And so the umbrella of this lesson is finding success at the end of the slog, and the willingness to suffer to succeed. So what is a slog? A slog is it's hard work over a period of time or distance. And whether you're calling it, suffering through the slog or pushing past the suck or whatever you say, really what it comes down to is that success is a sufferfest. You need to be willing to put in the work that sucks, the work that's hard, do the stuff that maybe in the moment you don't want to do, because at the end of it you see the success. You feel the promise of what's on the other side. You know that after taking all those monotonous, long, difficult steps, you will eventually crest over the top and see the beautiful vista from the top. And that's why we do it. And for the large majority of us, that really is what it takes to succeed, is really, really hard work over time. And unless you're like a 16-year-old Bitcoin millionaire or something, then hey, congrats, you did it. But I hope you do something good for the world with your newfound money that I also hope you have taken out and are not just letting ride in the crypto world. I don't know, I could be wrong, but we'll see how that plays out. But for the large majority of us, success really is at the end of that long, monotonous, difficult, repetitive, sometimes, road. And we have to be willing to suffer to get there. Now, as a mountaineer, I'm no stranger to the physical and the mental suffering of the uphill slog that it takes to get to the summit.
My hip flexors absolutely fucking killing me. Maybe I should not have run a half marathon a few days ago. It's great at the time. Damn. My heart.
And sometimes not even get to the summit. Sometimes you put in all that time and effort and you push through the suck and you never see the top. You get to a point where it's too dangerous, or the weather didn't turn out right, or you're sick and you just have to turn around. And that's I guess a different lesson, is not seeing that as a failure and seeing success in the attempt and turning around and learning from that. But today we're really talking about is that piece of being willing to suffer through the slog. So of the 7 summits, the tallest mountain on every continent around the world, I have been on 3 of them, Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua, and Denali. And now what Kilimanjaro and Aconcagua have in common is that many people in the climbing and mountaineering space will call those a walk, a long walk, or a long slog to get to the top. And that kind of underplays the intense expeditionary logistics that go into it, especially if you're going without a guide, without porters, if you're doing it on your own, as My buddies and I did with Aconcagua and with Denali. We had to have a guided service on Kilimanjaro because that's just, part of climbing in Tanzania. You got to be with the registered party and go through the government hoopla and have have all that. So we did have a guide and porter support on Kilimanjaro, but Kilimanjaro and Aconcagua, what the two of those do have in common is people generally look at them as just a long walk. It's true. I mean, the normal routes, there's not any really technical climbing. If you go Plaza de Mulas up to Camp Canada and Nido and Berlin, up to the top of Aconcagua, then you're not like needing to rope up. You don't need axes. And with Kilimanjaro, same thing. Like you're not crossing a glacier. You don't need to rope up. It's just they're high altitude mountains, so you have to deal with that. You have to deal with acclimatization. You have to deal with weather. You have to deal with just being physically fit enough and mentally fit enough to do it. But you can get there if you're willing to put in the slog, to put in the effort of suffering along the way, to carry. For the instance of Aconcagua, where we didn't have anybody carrying anything for us, to carry 70 pounds or 80 pounds on your back and just walk miles through nothingness as it's like sleeting on you. I think all of us are hating every second of right now. The past 2 days have just been the absolute worst weather. Yeah, we just want to be out of this valley, but we still have miles. And we're all sick and exhausted and just ready to be done. There's so many things that play on your mind and try and break down your spirit and break down your physical fitness and get you to stop, and you just have to keep pushing through with the optimism, with the faith that it's gonna be worth it, that you're gonna get to the top and you're gonna see the beautiful sights, the sunrises and the mountain peaks and the clouds and everything. And you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Even when progress seems non-existent, you persist. You persist with passionate optimism and you fight and you get there.
Sunday, say hello.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hello. Welcome. Karibu.
What would it be like to climb Kilimanjaro?
How are you doing?
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
Feeling good.
Good news on the front page.
Yeah.
To push myself higher and harder than maybe ever before.
Then they camp down there.
What would it look like from the top? This is one of the 7 summits, the rooftop of Africa. Could I make it? Am I strong enough? What must it feel like up there? Where the steps go slow and the breathing is work, but the beauty is boundless. And the effort? Worth it. I wonder. And it's waiting.
Well, this is it. The time has come.
This is midnight, but we're going to the summit and then we're gonna make it to the top. Doesn't matter how we're tired, but we'll make it to the top.
We'll make it.
Yeah!
So now, mountain metaphor, back to life, back to business, back to relationship. Where are you trying to level up in your life? Where, like, are you trying to build a Instagram audience that doesn't seem like it's happening and you're stagnating? Are you trying to build a company, like a software product, and it's a total grind every day, and you're slowly climbing out of the red, and then a customer cancels and the churn is going at the same rate as the new customers, and it's a grind. Are you just waiting for that promotion and you're doing the work day to day? You're going to the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 6 or the 7 to 9 or whatever work you're putting in, and it's not seeming like you're getting there. The carrot keeps looking like it's dangling further and further away, or that you're I mean, I use distance as a metaphor with kayaking because it's like you can look at something and start kayaking in the water, and an hour later it doesn't seem like it's any closer. Like distance across water is such a trippy thing, but really, is that how it feels in what you're striving for with your business, with your promotion? With, is there a problem in your relationship that you're working towards, and then every time it feels like you're making progress, then you take one step back? Are you running up the down escalator? Are you trying to whiten your teeth, but like you're a coffee and wine addict? Like there are things in your life, in every aspect of your life, that feel like you're just putting in the work and you're pouring your effort into it, and it's mentally taxing or physically exhausting, and you don't think you're making progress. But the truth is, you are. If you are putting in that effort on a day-to-day basis, if you are diligently striving towards that and methodically, strategically, working towards that goal every single day, you are getting there. It might not feel like it in the day-to-day. It might not feel like it when you're on that mountain and you're just taking one step after the other, and it's slow, and you don't feel like you're gaining any momentum, and sometimes you're even going down when you got to get up. But in the background, momentum is building, and you will confidently accelerate into your point of success. You will get there. So something I just briefly touched on was that there are sometimes those points where you're here and you got to get there, and you're going, and then you feel like you're like on top. It looks like you're there, but then you got to go this way, or you got to keep going, or you get there and all of a sudden that's not the top, and it's up here actually. Like in mountaineering, those are called false summits. If you're climbing and you get to a point where from a distance you're looking up and you think like all you can see is that top, and you think that is the end, and you're just motivated. You're like you're thinking, all right, 50 more feet. I can just do 50 more feet, and I get there, and then you get there and you realize like, nope, that was just one false summit, or it's actually way up there, right? So those false summits though, what you have to do to be able to motivate yourself to keep going when you get there and not feel like you're gonna lose all steam because you were just saying that you could just do 50 more feet, and then you get there and then wow, now it's like 150 more, and man, I don't know if I can do that. Instead of looking at like now there's more, turn around and look back and see where you actually came from. Like, don't see that false summit as something demotivating. Turn around and look and be like, holy crap, I've actually come a long way. And like, maybe I'm not at the top yet, but reflecting on where I started and where I am now, I can totally dig a little deeper and get a little farther. And I talked about this recently, actually. My background on my phone is that picture. And I look at that. It's actually Camelback Mountain out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I took that one morning that I through the winter, my wife and I were out in Scottsdale. And many mornings during the week, I would go and run up Camelback and catch the sunrise. And I snapped that photo and set it as my background there, just because when I look at that, I realize, like, in the moment, you might feel like you're not making any progress. That was taken at one of the false summits on Camelback. And it just takes looking out at how far you've come, where you started. A half hour ago, I was down where all those cars and those lights are, and now I'm way up high looking out on it, and I can't believe, like, even the effort that I did put in wasn't as much as I would have thought that it would be to get here to this view. And that's just my daily reminder. So what are you going to do for your daily reminder? What are you going to set so that you see or think about every single day to turn around and realize how far you've come, and to embrace maybe the false summit you're on and dig deeper through the slog, through the Sufferfest, to get to your point of success?
It's gorgeous here. Unbelievable. Unreal.
So that's it for episode 5. I hope you enjoyed today's talk about the willingness to slog. If there is something that you are suffering through right now, that you're pouring yourself into and working really hard and trying to get to the end of the goal, please comment. Let me know. I want to hear about what you're working on and where you want to be, and see if there's anything I can do to help get you there. Again, subscribe on YouTube, like the page on Facebook, share this, comment, like, whatever. If you connected with it and you want other people to see it, I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you next week. Cheers.